I've never been a huge fan of randomizers, personally. If I ever have the urge, they usually go something like this. You get some overpowered endgame item in the opening hours that carries you through 80% of the game, then you get hardwalled at the last few challenges because you didn't end up getting enough lucky drops. You know, something like getting the plasma beam in Super Metroid early, but dying to Ridley because you only have like 3 energy tanks. Getting the level 2 or 3 sword in A Link to the Past, but not having any bottles for fairies. Getting Ultima Weapon in Kingdom Hearts, but never getting Cure. Now, a lot of my examples seem to be HP related, but I'm sure you have your own example. It would be ridiculous to imply every randomizer is like this. Like, Pokemon can't really be made hard without absurd stipulations, like making it a Nuzlocke or doing Soul Link shenanigans. But aside from Archipelago, this has been my stigma. And Archipelago barely counts, it's cheating. Ignoring the technical wizardry required for such a thing to exist in the first place, multiplayer is a surefire way to make anything fun. The only way I could play Sonic 06 to completion is when me, Roman, Jam, and Arizona all co-opted on Jam's channel.
There you go.
Oh, good.
What?
I knew it!
No.
I knew it!
I won!
Oh, we did it! Yeah!
What the fuck?
Me and Jam have done many Mega Man games, alternating who plays after every stage. You won't. Oh my god. And a multi-world randomizer means you can play your favorite single-player game as a randomizer with a pseudo-multiplayer spin. But Final Fantasy V Career Day is not part of Archipelago. Or maybe it is, unofficially. I'm not really sure what the relationship is like, something to do with the translation. But I opted to finally try it out myself. To put a long video short, this run did not change my opinion. Damn. But it was still fun because, well, it's hard to make a fun game unfun by randomizing it, and the options you can enable or disable let you customize your experience thoroughly to your personal tastes. I don't remember every single option I voted for, a fact that bites me in the ass more than once, but what I know for sure is that most bosses are random but have stats scaled up or down depending on their position in the story. I only have World 1 open at first and need to fulfill certain conditions to unlock the other two, and rewards are progressive, meaning I'll always get lower tiered magic before the higher tiers. I thought this would only apply to the obvious spells like Fire before Fyra before Faraga, but just about every spell is progressive. This misunderstanding caused at least one fuck up in the mid-game, but I beat the game with no issues, so like, whatever. If you're watching this video and don't have it on as background noise, yes, a large amount of the intro time was spent flying from town to town, picking up every free item I could, and checking every store for information. I don't necessarily blame Career Day for this. I bet they consider the logistics of, should we make the player play the game like normal, or should we give them the airship off the bat? For a while during development. Regardless of how good or bad an idea it was, the outcome is spending 10 plus minutes at the start of every world waddling Bart's ass north to south, getting showered in 90% useless garbage. But you play randomizers for the 10%. One of my first items was the friggin' gold hairpin, and while it's not on par to the plasma beam, it certainly fits the criteria of get an overpowered item early, and the other equips like the flame tongue and rising sun don't help the comparison. Dungeon exploration time. I wanted to do a challenge run to spice things up, and my idea was a pseudo 4-job fiesta kind of rule set. I can only use the last 4 jobs I got, and when I get a 5th one, I replace the first job, with the 6th job replacing the 2nd, and so on, and allowing myself to use abilities acquired from previously obtained jobs. This runs somewhat in the face of my tendency to speed through Final Fantasies being under-leveled for most of the adventure. If I go too fast, I might end up replacing Chemist before learning Mix. I started off against Ifrit. Okay, then I guess the bosses are randomized. I am strong, you're damn right. I don't know the ins and outs of how the game scales up and down boss stats, because I assume it wasn't done manually, that'd be a lot of work, but a lot of fights go like this. Ifrit wasn't even done in by the overpowered stuff right now, just Gaia, but things ramp up real quick. Why the heck is the game giving me so many boomerangs? Just like how I robbed every town of their loot, I fly from dungeon to dungeon, rapid-fire shredding bosses. The gargoyles here reminds me of one of the handful of interesting gameplay changes. You only fight the gargoyles once, and Ramu, Kotobupas, and Golem's random encounter spawns were removed. They all still show up, obviously, but no more having to wander around Istory's forest to get an important item check to appear in your lap. For every few cool changes made, there's sometimes a questionable one alongside it. The RPG translation called the Excalibur Excalibur, which in a way I think is a better name. The thing with the Japanese names that the characters used to spell it are very similar. Even putting them right next to each other, it might take a second to spot the difference. Although I don't know Japanese, so maybe it's actually really obvious if you know the language. On the other hand, nobody's gonna mistake Excalibur and Excalibur, so Excalibur was a great translation to get the same idea across. Career Day renamed it to Excalibur with one O. Boo! Oh shit, it's a Gilgamesh. He's here stealing souls of those foolish enough to wander— oh, it's over. He drops the Adamantite, which allows access to World 2 from the Warp Shard, a key item that instantly takes you to a sort of nexus where you can choose from the worlds you've unlocked. Importantly, it works as a permanent Time Mage's teleport, and I frequently forgot I had it, even to the end of the game. Because I did minimal research going into this, I didn't realize that's what the Adamantite did right away. And really, I'm kinda glad. I just got done scouring the world for nearly half an hour. I don't need to do it again 10 minutes later when I'm running around with 2 rising suns and a flame tongue. There's gonna be at least one boss that's a normal, I guarantee. I don't think it'll be this one, but I think this boss will be Tyrannosaur. Here we go. Wow, I was actually right. He's still a punk. I didn't even need the Phoenix down. And I bet this is the first time ever someone's learned question marks from this boss. Oh yeah, your party has innate learning in this mod. Another to the good change pile for sure. Rare footage of me remembering to use the Warp Shard here. My brain gets real full of all the junk information that's constantly being fed to me with the dozens of chests and boss rewards. I try to continue the plot progression, but am halted by another questionable change. Career Day is very key item heavy, which often prevents you from going to any dungeon at any time. I remember one that stands out as needing something to get into the Moogle Forest in World 2. I don't even remember what it was. This mod gives you so much random crap, but why exactly? Alright, fine. Forget Waltz Tower. How about Shiva? Oh shit, well it was another summon. Running into a World 3 boss this early should make me fearful, but I actually relish the opportunity. Along with variable stats, bosses also sometimes gain and lose moves depending on their scaling as well. It's hard to demonstrate here because I just kill him in like 3 hits, but there's still plenty of fights to show off. I go back to re-examine the shops now that I have money and realize while it's cool I can buy endgame weapons with enough grinding, finding things like potions and tents is going to be annoying. Not every single shop in Career Day has their own item selection. There are a lot of shared ones, but the selection I do have is 90-10 weapons I'll probably find in a chest 2 dungeons from now to items I can't farm easily. Also, they put the Mithril Staff in here, an unused weapon that's functionally the base staff but stronger. Useless, but an unexpectedly respectable effort. I can go up Waltz Tower suddenly, so here we go. A buffed but not in a significant way Wing Raptor. The Pokemon Crystal ROM hack Crystal Clear gives every gym leader 16 different fights because they scale in difficulty depending on when you face them, and you can choose any version of them to go up against after you complete the gym the first time. If Career Day doesn't have that, I'd really like the option, because I desperately want to see what a Necrophobe location max difficulty Wing Raptor would be like. Fights like Shiva or Gilgamesh I can make assumptions on how they'd improve, but the shitty nothing fights like Wing Raptor, Crayclaw, Tyrannosaur, I'm interested to see what they do. Will Tyrannosaur ever get a heavy flag? Do they lose debuff vulnerabilities? Do they get Almagest? It's unlikely I'll play Career Day enough to find out, but my curiosity is piqued. The pickups for my victory are hilariously bad, and should have been an indication that spells across the board are progressive. The Shuriken is whatever, the Spear is bad and I think I literally never use it. Mute is is mediocre because Spellblade magic is acquired separately from the standard spells. Fusion is shit, Void is shit. Progressive or not, that is destitute. My current equipment setup is insane right now, straight up mid to end game level, and I'm only 5 bosses in. I'd start making some guesses on how long it takes till that randomizer roadblock happens. Finally have a job though, Monk! Not a great starting job. In fact, it's actually actively detrimental because it throws away all the cool stuff I've just been raving about, but importantly, it'll diversify the bosses for a bit. Randomized job palettes is such a good option, and is a surprisingly big motivator for finding them. They're not all winners, but I'd say the great ones and terrible ones both make the option worth it. For Monk, Lena's bright green eyes makes her look like she has no pupils like a Street Fighter 4 character, but that's the only outlier. The rest are decent. Fire-powered ship is next, immediately showing a variation of get a bunch of overpowered stuff early but not enough of it, because many of my monks can only equip leather armor. Not like the white robe would help that much, but it would definitely be better. I find Flea right after, so that'll placate me for now. The Seed also loves giving me harps, and I gotta equip harps somewhere. I don't end up using most of this crap, but it's a weird coincidence, right? Luckily, I do not have to fight Liquid Flame with a bunch of monks. We have Siren instead, another boss I'd like to see a late game variation of. She gets the shit beat out of her. My crit luck was off the charts here, but she takes it and just keeps going. There's no fake out here. She dies like the rest, but my god, that was prolonged. I kinda feel bad. Good thing I got Flea. The castle escape has a lot of shit to grab. I don't know if these chests are missable if I don't get these here. Maybe it refreshes if you go through the ship again, but I'm not about to find out. And it seems that most trapped chests are normal now, so no time wasted there. Fittingly, for a time-limited escape sequence, we get a sorta time-limit boss. I didn't expect that this fight would be in the boss pool, but it is a one-of-a-kind encounter, so alright. This isn't any more notable than the normal version, but you still get the Golem summon for winning, so if I can find the summoner, I'll already have a huge head start. Right after I get the Flame Whip, which would suck even if I could use it, and equip swords, which is awesome. Maybe the best equip weapon skill in the run. God damn, this randomizer gives you so much crap. I don't think I've even hit 1 hour on the game time. Anyway, with monks now armed with big-ass swords, I head to the library, pick up Aqua Rake on the way, and we find the Book of Go-Go. To sorta spoil some future bosses, the Gill Turtle's location is unchanged, as are Shinryu and Omega, and that makes sense. They're all super bosses that would be incredibly hard to balance to make easier, and would certainly be run stoppers even then. Since Go-Go is just a free win, I assume there's not many people playing Career Day that don't know Go-Go's gimmick. I'm a bit surprised to see him in the boss pool, but for beating him, we get our next job. Dancer. And I'd love to be more mad, but I actually have a good setup. I've gotten 2 Lamia tiaras for the sword dance buff, and I have really powerful swords like the Ice Brand, Defender, Enhancer, even the Blood Sword, which is handy because sword dance has perfect accuracy. The drain damage is really bad because it goes based off your magic, but it is basically a full heal. For Dancer, that isn't saying anything. The sprites are good, I'll give him that. Galoof keeping the pink hair is appreciated. But wait, that was Go-Go I fought, not Ifrit. Consequently, the bookshelf refuses me passage, so I'm out. I won't be back for a long time. Hope there's nothing important past there. No quicksand desert either, but I've got the airship. Can't I use the propellers to blow the sand away? I got level 1 time from somewhere, and now I have slow, so every boss that isn't Liquid Flame or Azalmagia suddenly becomes a whole lot easier, assuming I remember to equip it. Ha ha. Apparently Magissa was clinging to the airship's port side for God knows how long. She tosses a rope down to Forza, but this is yet another World 1 boss replacing a World 1 boss. I don't care that Forza can one-shot someone, my damage is still way above curve. I got Call from Magissa. Since it doesn't give the summoner's magic stat, I was curious what some summons with the monk's magic stat would do. Not much. Call's usefulness is heavily crippled in Career Day due to the random checks giving level 1 summons, but I do have Golem much earlier than I should, so the gamble could work out. Also, the reason I'm over here is because at this moment I don't know about the removal of the random encounter bosses, but I got to grind some levels that are jumping from boss to boss, so it was still net positive. It's Carla boss! An eye for an eye, you crustaceous fuck! That blood sword shit is not worth it. I run through Jackal Cave. It's nothing but junk. My 2 dancers are toothed to death. I'm cutting my losses here. Lifting into the skies. Good call by the devs to skip the flamethrower missile launcher fights. I'm glad we're all in agreement that those battles are lame and stupid and dumb. Carbuncle, though, he beats my ass back real quick. I hit him with so much damage, and he just does not give a shit. I'm dead. I've been fighting the bosses in the correct order, mostly. This should be the next in sequence. The heck is this about? I had the thought of, are the bosses just inheriting the HP of the replaced boss? And Soul Cannon, like Atomos, has a disproportionately high health value compared to the surrounding bosses. So it seemed plausible. I mean, Soul Cannon specifically has 10,000 more HP than he actually has because he triggers the self-destruct when he gets below 10,000. I'm getting right back in there. 2 sword dances right off the bat. Carbuncle goes straight to the spam insta-kill phase. He takes 2 more sword dances before a 3rd finally finishes him off. He had at least 5 goddamn digits worth of health. That was ridiculous for a boss that relentlessly wails on you with death and break. Into the Ronka Ruins. Dancer allows me to get White Wind if I remove the tiara. At the end, it's Atomos. You start dancing. Damn, you guys are... Where the fuck was all this? Slow 2, that sucks. Man. I'm pissed. Oh, I shouldn't be pissed. I'm mad that the game could have been doing this the whole time. And then I get the dancing dagger. This game has the stupidest sense of humor. The crystal spoils or whatever. I'm mostly concerned about my jobs, or the lack thereof. I've scoured World 1, taken everything worth taking, about to head to World 2, and I have 2 jobs, one of which I had to buy, and the other is fucking Dancer. What the hell is going on? Well, unfortunately, I forgot to set the all jobs can appear option on the career day site. I spent like 15 minutes looking over all the options, making sure everything was just so. And I neglected to notice enforce all jobs is off by default. Talk about missing a fucking spot check. That thing I said at the start about the worry of replacing a job before I learn all the relevant abilities basically doesn't matter because of this. The biggest bummer to come out of that mistake is Berserker was not chosen as one of the jobs. Some stores are selling the giant glove. I was really looking forward to wreaking maximum havoc with the rune axe. Alas. Notes for next time, if there is a next time. I stopped by World 2 for a minute before the meteor bosses just to check out a couple shops, and I'm glad I did. Right off the bat we got the Cursed Shield, another unused equipment. No clue what it does, but it's cool that it's here. But Thief, another job. I don't know if this is an improvement. This lessens my damage output if anything, but no more back attacks is awesome, and I'll take the variety. It's really too bad that not every job gets shown, because so many random palettes look great. Lena ended up with the most good ones overall. I love Strawberry Thief. Galoof looks like he has Ferris's Thief palette. Ferris got Cannoneer colors, and Bart's bought the Zelda 1 blue ring. Not as good, still high tier for sure. First up is the Titan Meteor, replaced by Twintania, who might pose a real threat since my access to instant kills is way more limited. Not to mention, I might struggle surviving through 5 turns of party damage attacks. Even nerfed, they might chunk apart. Oh, he died. Purabolus's Meteor has Melusine, another World 3 boss. I don't have easy fire or sleep access, so it's possible her super high physical defense will make chunking through her health annoying. But I'm hoping that her spell repertoire has been sufficiently Oh, she died. You see what I mean about the carbuncle thing? I'd love to make us a rule of thirds joke, but Shiva replaced Chimera Brain and froze my ass to death, so World 2, here I come. There are some typically world-locked things that Career Day makes exceptions for. The first that happened is the Sildra summon scene that's supposed to be in World 3, but you can get it right away in World 1. And World 2's more allows you to get the chicken knife. Well, it was a knife. Another job, this time Geomancer. Out of all job sets to be saddled with, I really got a combination of both my worst job runs, huh? Once again, this nerfs my damage with my rule set, but let's be real. If this whole video was spamming Equip Swords Sword Dance, this shit would not be worth making a video about. And Backlog Buster already did the beat FF5 with only dancers thing. I got the Earth Bell, which is just incredible that currently my only 2 legendary weapons are the Bell and the Whip. I can buy the Rune Bell for 20,000? No. Unfortunately, the Geomancer's palettes are, ass. Bart's is fine, but the rest look like I tilted the cartridge. Remember me saying we won't be back to the library for a while? Yeah, this is why. Ifrit is in Istory Falls, one of the last things you can do in World 3, and I get a third Flame Whip. I thought I only had the one, and one was more than enough. Another job already. This time it's Ranger, or Hunter, whatever. Guess we know where all the jobs went, so much for complaining about it, and this means goodbye to Monk. It was nice for a while, but having Rapid Fire will be nice if I can be asked to grind for it. I forget to look at the other palettes for a bit, but I like how this seed is committed to Galoof having this hair color. What an ally. Well, I might be in World 2, but I have a tablet, so I'm checking out Kuzar Castle. Here's the selection. The Rune Axe, hilarious. Fucking Ragnarok, okay. The progressive level magic, Summoner, the Gaia Hammer, seriously, 2 Berserker weapons. Progressive blue spells up to Mighty Guard, and I don't understand why these 3 are grouped together. A Crystal Helm, a Protect Ring, Flare Spellblade, progressive white spells up to Holy, a goddamn Turtle Shell, and the Titan Axe. The quality here is even more variable than the vanilla game, and a quarter of them are a weapon type I can't even use. Not that I knew that at the time, but in retrospect, that's some shit. Past me at this moment didn't know that all spells were progressive. I thought I would get all the magic from those tablets, and it takes me a little too long to find that out. To be fair to me, I thought that the tablet rewards might have been specially made to give unusually good stuff, but the Turtle Shell by itself should have shunted that consideration from my brain. Ultimately, for my first tablet, I take the Rune Axe, the Ragnarok because a chat member reminded me, you have equipped swords, you dumb ass, and the progressive Mighty Guard spells. I think I have Off Guard, so that gets me Magic Hammer. Pretty useless, but at least I'm one step away now. I never knew Phoenix Tower was here in World 2. It blends in really well with the mountains, plus there's never a reason to fly back here with a dragon after you get escorted to Ball Castle, so I'm not blaming myself for not knowing, but that's still cool. It's funny, but I never considered where Phoenix Tower comes from in World 3, and I'm pretty sure this is it. It's the big desert in the top right corner. Thanks, Career Day. Ragnarok in hand, I head back to the Gone Meteor to wreck Shiva's shit. I get owned again? This woman and her simp brigade are pissing me off. They keep targeting my main damage dealer. This is what happens when you have a frontliner with negative fucking 10 fucking stamina. This is why the goddamn job. I finally did it, no thanks to Dancer, but Focus Ranger with the Artemis bow, Lena with Nightingale healing, and Galoof dropping rocks on people's heads are enough to win the day. For my efforts, I get another tablet. I really expected that to be a waste of time. Look at this damage, man. Ragnarok Sword Dance. I hate Dancer more than you can even imagine. One focus crit later and we're moving out. Here's the part where I dick around in the Moogle Forest, not realizing you need a special key item. Those 7 checks will not be kept from me by those rats forever. Chat reminded me to check the other Ranger palettes. We got a top tier one right off the bat. Ranger Lena might be my favorite from the whole run. I love this blue with the brown hair. It's so normal looking, and yet fits her so well. Bart's looks like he stepped off the set of Footloose, and Ferris reminds me of something. I can't put my finger on it, but overall, big thumbs up. My sword dance luck has been through the roof. I'm kind of antsy to get rid of this job before things can swing back against me. But the 5K midway through the adventure is unquestionably adrenaline-inducing. Here's where I finally learned the sad truth of progressive spells. No Mighty Guard for me. I don't even have blue, for the record, so I shouldn't have picked it in the first place. This is what we call a harsh lesson. I can see the problem here. Having a fireman at the top of a mountain is doing no one any favors. Liquid Flame's moveset isn't really changed at all, but I beat the shit out of him and he still stands, and I'm dead again. My glass cannon factor is way too far in both directions. I need health more than anything. I got that second tablet but didn't go cash it in right away for some reason, so remedying that, I'm looking over my options. I now know about progressive spells, so the level magic wouldn't do much for me. Again, no blue. I have Confused but not Scan, so so I couldn't get Holy, but I also only have White level 1 or 2, so that's worth the jack anyway. So grabbing Summoner now. I am, without a shadow of a doubt, not sorry to be doing this to Dancer, but the sword dances did make me less miserable than I usually would be using this job. Can't wait to mystery waltz my way into a noose in 2027's Sword Job Fiesta. I got Golem way earlier. That improves my survival by so much, and it'll be nice not having to spam call if I want to even try and get it. Brown hair Ferris with the green robe looks charming. It's a little too similar to default colors, but I don't know, after playing this game so many times with the anime girls having anime hair colors, the brown is a nice change of pace. Next choices are level 3 Flare and Flare Spellblade, because there really isn't much left worth having. The Protect Ring, Crystal Helm, 2 more Berserker weapons, a fucking turtle shell, none of that gives me happiness. We get anime hair Bart's Summoner, a yellow, green, brown hair Lena, and I think that Galoof sprite is just unchanged. It's uncannily similar if it isn't. I grind for a long time at Black Flame Island, and I grab level 5 Death legitimately on the way up, cause like, might as well. I'm back with almost double the health, a Ragnarok Thief, Shiva Summoner, Artemis Ranger, Geomancer is also here, and it still isn't enough. This fucking thing has so much HP for some reason. How much does Dragon Pod have? Okay, yeah, I guess that is a lot. I just never noticed because of the whole instant death thing. I try a cheese strategy, massive air quotes there, with Lance, trying to out-heal the counter damage, but this shit is ass. Even my high magic jobs are only healing like 200, and it goes down rapidly from there. Giving animals to Geomancer is a great improvement because it makes a Nightingale heal for nearly 500 on average. Oops, I'm dead again. Really, I deserve it. I'm too lazy to go searching for shops which had high potions and Phoenix Down, but Nightingale is clearly not reliable enough, so I'm surely just wasting time overall. Turns out the solution was 2 animals users, so I'm never wrong, you're wrong, I'm right. Having a counter boss with quintuple digit health is shit. I head over to Ball Castle for the Abductor fight, which I should have done before Liquid Flame. It's Catastrophe, which made my heart skip a couple beats, but his devastating Earth Shaker has been replaced with a sad by comparison, Quicksand. If I didn't have animals, this would be much more annoying, what with the basically 20% of my max HP every turn damage, but you don't have 12,000 health, so be gone with ye. I went to go fight Gilgamesh on the boat, but the whole ocean dried up in an instant. I don't know what to do about this. Good thing I got Aqua Breath, right? Hanging out in Exdeath's basement is Archaeoavis, which I hypothesized he was either keeping as a pet or a secret weapon, but either way I got no notes. I hit it with my weapons until it dies. Same moveset as the original fight, probably has more health per phase. Coincidentally, that gives me the submarine key, giving me immediate access to the barrier tower, with Crayclaw waiting for me at the top. He has enough health to tank more than 2 hits, an insane improvement, and he actually downs Lena against all odds. What a fucking champion. I won't be too rude this time. He's making great progress. Baby steps and all that. My victory this time gave me the bracelet, which seems to be the Exdeath's castle item. It's simultaneously neat and off-putting that I'm doing this dungeon with Galoof in tow, but that's the beauty of randomizers, right? World 2 Exdeath is another unchanged location, and beating him is my ticket to World 3, so might as well do this shit now. Carbuncle metamorphed into the crystals, and they are beating the fuck out of me. I am so not dealing with this right now. I finally get a legendary weapon worth a damn, the Magus Rod, and this is probably the funniest chest in the whole run, because I reload soon after this, never pick up the rod again, and somehow never notice. Fucking clueless. Okay, the Gilgamesh fight is replaced by Omniscient. I'll spoil it. I don't beat him here. I actually try to beat him off screen in between streams, but I think Career Day doesn't allow you to cheese this guy, maybe? There are people who watch me that are much more knowledgeable about this mod, so they can tell me for certain. But I emulator speed up idled in this guy for way longer than you would in the vanilla game, and he never ran out of MP. This is several bosses earlier than his vanilla fight. I would have thought he'd run out sooner, but I don't know, does he just have infinite here to force you to fight him? If it's not infinite, is he set to have 99,999, or are there some comically large number? That I really just somehow not wait long enough? Doesn't really matter. My party party isn't exactly set up to do this, and I don't want to chip away at him with shitty Shivas and Ramas. I'll be back eventually. We did do Wordle before I left, though. For now, more grinding. Xdeath will undoubtedly beat my ass to death with his HP count. Back to the crystals. I've been neglecting Equipped Sora's Defender for a while now. I'm putting up that Protect in the back row with Golem support, then just slowly whittle them down like a normal fight. Their magic chunked the shit out of me, as expected, but Nightingale can outpace the damage given my luck holds out, which it does for a while before the Momongas and bees take over. I hate animals. Replace the whole goddamn command with Nightingale. It takes forever because I start using regular-ass potions to heal, but around 2 years later, I am successful. Another tablet for my efforts. Once again, I am glad I stuck around and didn't save that for later. I've watched more than a handful of randomizer highlights from other YouTubers where they put off some easily accessible checks and it ends up biting them because it's a critical progression item. Not that that won't ever happen to me, but when every random spot on the map can be the difference between looking at the spoiler log and eating my own ass, it's a good form to do this shit as I arrive, especially since my memory is god-awful, like goldfish tier, for real. Really though, I'm talking a lot of shit, it's not like I'm getting anything out of this tablet. Oh boy, a Protect Ring. Yeah, you fucking wish you were the NES Final Fantasy Protect Ring. Some final preparations. Finally getting off my ass and buying healing items, plus scan so the next tablet will actually be holy, which once again is predicated on either getting white level 6 or a white mage. Call's been sitting in my ability menu for a while now, so I've got a brilliant idea. Reflect rings on everyone like normal, just spam Call every turn. Doesn't matter that my summon selection sucks and the damage will be terrible, I will be able to chip him down eventually. Except, lo and fucking behold, Call isn't magic according to this guy. Even if it's actually Chocobo and not Call doing it, which is the stupidest shit ever, then I'd have to pray to God I never rolled a 1 in whatever chance of summoning it like 1,000 times in a row. And that ain't happening in a million years. Amy, listen to the stream.
Oh, give me 5 seconds. Okay. That's cute.
Derek. I thought she was okay
Anda
until I
Dueto.
saw you doing stuff. Leave it alone. You hate me.
Alright, that's all
What
I
the
got.
fuck were you even doing?
So, Xdeath time. And it's pretty routine, truthfully, as vanilla bosses tend to be in randomizers. Geomancer and Thief are spamming attack, Galoof has rapid fire, Ferris is support with high potions and Golem, doing chip damage with rod-boosted Shivas and Ramas. Reflector Rings help in the second phase too, so those with the Golem negates the vast majority of his damage. The only danger to be wary of are moves like Poison Breath or Earth Shaker. This goes for about 1 to 2 minutes less than 8 before he's dead, and I'm finally onto World 3. Let's see how long it takes before Ifrit pops out of a chest. It's funny how Ifrit was the first boss in the run, but because 5 was programmed the way it was, not every summon is gotten as an item drop. It would be stupid to blame the original devs, not like the idea of a randomizer was super realizable back in the 80s and 90s. Kotoba Pass was waiting in this hole in the ground, just shoot it to death, whatever. I think all games with bows and arrows should do the Dark Souls thing where the arrow is visibly sticking out of the victim. Even the NES Final Fantasies, fuck it. I don't have any Petrify immunity, so it does come down to the wire, but all those crits from the Artemis bow are carrying me so hard. I didn't know it was a magic beast. And a dragon? Hold on, let me... Okay, yes, a dragon, gotcha. Just like the Golem fight, I got the respective summon, which I'll never use on purpose. Getting the bridge key reminded me I never did try going there, so because of that, I'm going to the pyramid. You think I'm gonna pass up all those checks? It's not gonna be 50% useless dark matters, I could actually get something good. Minotaur is standard only physical attacks fair. Call works and I accidentally press it, getting the exact summon I wanted. There's also a funny quirk about this fight now. The ball into the hole forever. He's like, oh, I guess I forgot to port. Oh, I guess I forgot to prat. Oh, he can actually use holy. That's interesting. He didn't die! Because he healed himself. Uh-oh. Stop using holy. No, this fight is gonna go on forever. What the hell? I didn't think putting the wall ring in this fight would actually mean anything. I guarantee you for a fact this has never happened to anyone in the history of playing Final Fantasy V. Please use it on Galoof. Please stop using it on people with wall rings. I regret my actions. Yes, I know. Holy the magic. Yeah, okay, thank you. One of the first chests gives me Aroga, which is hilarious because look at my blue spell list. Still no blue command, by the way. How the heck did I get the 3 arrow checks before any of the black Aga spells? The big mecha head room is lacking the mecha and head. I was kind of looking forward to testing my luck with them, although truthfully my party is being carried heavily by the ranger and rapid fire. Zephyrus is also a magic beast. That's something. You would victim blame a guy that looks like this too. Oh shit, P. Diddy stands for Plock Diddling. Holy shit. Found a black and white robe in here. With the sheer amount of chests, it wasn't the most insane coincidence, but it's good to know some things never change. This actually reminds me of another point in Career Day's favor. L and R swap characters in the equip menu, which is undoubtedly my most requested feature for Project Demi. Maybe there's a separate mod that's compatible? I'll have to check that later. Oh, Blue Mage! Oh, my god. Fucking finally. Damn, I'm glad I came here as soon as possible. I think Thief's out now, and wow, that is ugly. But not even in a looks like a glitched palette way. That looks plausibly human-made. I'm decked out in so much good equipment now. Gold pins, elemental shields, black and white robes, and enhancer. All I'm missing is Hermes sandals, but Career Day is very stingy about those. I'll take that as another positive. The permanent meta being haste forever does get old sometimes, but can I at least have, like, one free sandal? Just the one? I don't need both. Lena is Girl Link. Galoof looks like a Lord of the Rings character with no eyebrows, and Ferris has that stock fantasy adventurer look to her. Some isekai shit. I got Blue Mage at exactly the right time. I've been waiting like 8 hours to do this. Another legendary weapon, Yoichi's bow. It's still funny to me how it's 10 weapon power weaker than Artemis, a standard monster-type killer bow you just find in a chest somewhere. The random crits and 3 strength and agility make it superior in most situations, but you can't deny that's a weird decision. Pyramid's finished, but surprise boss! I'm assuming this is where they put the Melusine check so you don't have to pointlessly walk over 15 tiles to the forest, or just forget that that's there in general. But if I died, I would have been annoyed. Titan seems to be the exact same fight as his World 1 iteration, just much more damaging. It's a good thing I finally got a real healing spell, or else those Earth Shakers would make me very sad. Yoichi's bow is just showing off. I was wondering if I'd accidentally kept on Artemis and Titan is another magic beast, but no, I guess I'm just that lucky. I don't know when exactly to mention this, but in World 3, all the tablet dungeons are locked behind page key items. So if I get the submarine, I can't just beeline towards Istory Falls and Ifrit, but I still got some places to go. The magic lamp was swapped out with a Staff of Light, what I'm calling a reverse Paper Mario, and I'll hope the lamp is guaranteed to be in the pool somewhere. Now it's big bridge time, with the dragon pod planted directly in the bricks. Going by the missile damage, it has a dramatic HP cut, which is odd since it's only a couple bosses before where you'd fight it vanilla. Plus I literally couldn't have fought it till now, but hey, easy diamond plate that I'll sell immediately. I've noticed Career Day loves the diamond and crystal armor sets. Another discovery, you need a special item to go to the Phantom Village. Whack. Adamantoise is in Castle Ball's basement, and I can still do this. Alright, I don't know if the stat scaling doesn't impact level and I just got insanely lucky there or what. With Blue Mage in hand, I can realistically take out Omniscient, so I'll do just that. To the Island Shrine, it's Califasteri. Glad I kept the Reflect Rings on. I also start doing that cast a full party spell on your own reflected party to do double damage thing, which I've always been aware of, but also always forget to do because I never have Carbuncle and hate grinding for Reflect Rings. I still rarely get comments about this. I just want to make it clear that I do understand how powerful this strategy is, especially combined with White Wind, which pierces Reflect. I just have the memory of a goldfish. Speaking of, Carbuncle right away. This seed is very committed to the support summoner bit. I have zero clue what the progressive spells of summon are, but since there's so few of them compared to most magicalists, there's little to go off of. Another cool drop is the Brave Blade, but I've been fleeing so much, so while I do have equipped swords still hanging around, it's a bit of a a hollow feeling. Most important of all, the magic lamp and the black mage. This isn't a dungeon full of the most useful checks, but it is very top heavy with the unique stuff. Somehow more so than the pyramid, which has 10 times the chest count. The black mage colors are alright, but Galoof's Ronald McDonald looking ass is so far and away the standout. This is literally what a McDonald's mage would look like. Unfortunately, similar to Summoner, it's being hampered significantly with the lack of Aga magic, but at least Summoner has Golem. If I did this again, I'm not sure if unchecking progressive magic would be a good thing or not. Done this way, you have to hope beyond hope that you find 3 random successive chests so the standard mages can be usable late game. Plus, it's not like there's any similar option for weapons. I got multiple legendary ones in World 1, and your party members have innate learning for Blue Mage, so they aren't nerfed unless there's an option for randomizing regular enemies, which I don't think there is, but I'm not fact-checking myself. On the other hand, walking into the first dungeon and getting Faraga might be too far in the other direction. I know all this is in the nature of randomizers. It's not like this shit is supposed to be balanced, but you know, it kinda sucks to finally get Black Mage in the endgame and be stuck with Thundara. The boss is Garula. I have 2 different Toad users now, and with Golem up, he is so fucked. I get blue magic for winning, which totally invalidates my acquisition of the job. I was actually being proactive for once and fighting for ABP, but the game has made a compromise. Keep fleeing from everything. Don't worry about it. Next up, the Sunken Waltz Tower, who Odin has taken residency in, making this an accidental reference to Final Fantasy III. What's funny is that I don't know if this fight would normally have the 1-minute time limit, because if it does, it's overwritten by the air timer. Not that stops him from wiping the fucking floor with me. Twice even. So fuck that. To the trench. Guarded by Wendigo. This hasn't been relevant till just now, but another career day change is to sleep. It isn't permanent anymore. I don't know if heavy makes it last less time like other temporary debuffs, but regardless, that is a pretty hefty nerf, which I think I agree with. Sleep being permanent isn't too bad in isolation, but only physical hits waking you up makes it game-breakingly overpowered for any boss vulnerable to it. So in this hypothetical situation that I'm making up just now, if sleep had to be nerfed, and it's between any hit waking them up or making it temporary, I think this is better, because you can still get a few free hits in before they wake up again. On Wendigo specifically, it should have stayed permanent. This is the same annoying fight as ever. The trench finally gives me an Aegis shield. Can't believe I've gotten nearly every other notable shield in the game with some duplicates, and not this one. This is the only reason to even have a blue mage on my party at this point, aside from my self-made rules forcing me to use it, is that shield users are always welcome. If you're curious what my random encounters are looking like right now, a whole lot of 4 times reflected Erogas, it being my only attacking spell worth a damn right now. Anyway, good thing I came here. These Final Fantasy IV rejects were hoarding all the good shit. Ninja, Mystic Knight, Iainuki, and Bahamut. Even Whitewind if I didn't already have it. Goodbye Summoner and Ranger, and while I readily welcome the replacements, the new outfits are pretty whatever. Except Bart's. His ninja is a horrifying flesh suit, with Mystic Knight being solid fucking gold. Apparently I got the 7 Chaos Emerald before any good black magic. Good news though, Brave Blade keeps the 150 weapon power. With equipped swords dual wield, Galoof is gonna be wrecking shit. I don't really care if rapid fire would be better. How can you resist a ninja dual wielding the fucking Brave Blade and Ragnarok? Good old Hallie is the boss down here, and it takes forever to put him down, mainly due to his obsession with reverse polarity. I go through his whole AI cycle 3 times before he finally offs himself with Holy. I was impressed with my damage output in the brief moments I got to see it. I got something called the Tempest Sword. The fuck is that? Apparently it's a katana. And the Moogle suit, which might get me into the Moogle Forest in World 2. Hallie has the last laugh, because I got no clue. Okay, yeah, I can steal the Moogle shit now. A whole gaggle of junk I don't care about, the final Genji piece, and Meteor. Alright, I'm struggling to think of what I have access to with my key items, what with Istri Falls still out of reach, so back to Odin. I'm doing everything and anything out of desperation, but when he one-shots everyone with Zantetsuken, not a lot I can do about that. Fighting World 3 bosses without haste really makes you realize how much of a crutch it was all along. Without it I feel powerless, even if my job setup is amazing. Well, I think the only way I can really lose now is if he does more damage than I have health heal with... Okay, well. Oh, he didn't attack. Okay. Oh! You fool, you've let me live for the last time. Aha! Genji shield, bitch. This might actually come down to the wire, depending on how much health Odin has. Aha! You've let me live for the last time, you fuck. Ah, Genji shield. We could do this all day. Aha! My magic defense is too strong for your puny sword. Okay. Fine, more grinding if we're really doing this. I'd be curious to know how World 3 bosses get scaled, since everything in between Melusine and Califasteri can be done in any order. And you could include the Rift bosses if you were to steamroll through the final dungeon, leave, then take on all the tablet dungeons. But Career Day requires you find the 4 tablets before taking on the Rift. Still, even if that's unrealistic, it's obvious how non-linear the game is in the last act, a trait shared by at least the next 2 mainline entries, which is all to say, my god, this dude has so much health. I don't think he has go-go HP, but it's definitely more than the 17,000 he had originally. Just watching my ATB gauges slowly rise while I'm constantly on edge, fearing he'll decide to end the fight on a whim, and I might even be doing this on easy mode if you would ordinarily have the 1-minute timer. I have Kotobel Pass, but his magic evade is crazy high, and I do not have turns to spare. I could just, like, spam Kotobel Pass until it just works, since I have a save right outside, but running down the tower every time is annoying, and I don't want to completely nullify any challenge by disabling battles every time I encounter a slight road bump. My biggest flaw is my unnecessary, completely detrimental sense of fairness, when the game itself is decidedly not playing fair in return. On the other hand, that makes the eventual victory that much more fulfilling. I get the Mirage Radar. They really are just saying shit, so shopping spree time, control, sing, knight, white level 4, time level 5, throw, dual wield, equip axes, double grip, and the black chocobo. The knight sprites are pretty good. I like Ferris's hair color. What the hell is happening with Galoof Knight? Am I allowed to show this? Oh my god. If there's gonna be any job to replace Blue Mage, I'm at least glad it was another shield job. Not that it'll change much against Soul Cannon. I finally have haste, so Rapid Fire and Thundara, Spell and or Blade just tear through this thing. The sponginess is expected with this boss, but in-universe I think it's funny that someone built a massive wave motion gun on the top of a mountain. It's like the end of Breath of the Wild. For my efforts I can finally enter Istory Falls, Ifrit here I come, and flatten whatever insect is quivering at the bottom of the library. No reason to waste any time. Ramo is standing in the way, but he is woefully unequipped to deal with this party. His HP in particular being weirdly low compared to every boss surrounding him. This is the Dungeon of Redundancy. Ramo himself gives me the summon I already have. I get Remora again. I get level 5 death again. Bunch of armor I already have 2 to 3 copies of, although I won't scoff at a second Aegis shield. It's not all bad though. Chemist is waiting at the bottom. What a find. There's something poetic about how my starting party was all the worst job contenders, and now I'm rocking all the best ones. It was like accidental progressive unlocks. Unless that is a thing. I'm almost out of chests and totally out of shops, so the likelihood of Chemist getting replaced before I get Mix is extremely low. But that doesn't change me wanting it for the sake of having it. The colors are a bit fucked though, which seems to primarily be due to the hat being sorta pillow shaded. You might not even notice it with the original colors. I definitely didn't. But when any color can turn into any other, it's thrown into the forefront. It's probably why Geomancer ended up ugly too. What punk is Leviathan gonna be replaced by? Oh god, Necrophobe. Just kidding, his barriers suck now. But when you think about it, Necro only stands to lose in a randomizer given his vanilla location. But even then they feel overly nerfed. We're nearing the end and I'm getting aura magic casted at me. I can understand not giving them their holy and flare nukes, but at least the Aga tier would be appropriate. The reflected spells are weirdly good at focus firing, but even in a worst case scenario, this damage is pathetic. Necro himself, however, feels unchanged, still swinging twice per turn, still hitting hitting for over 1,000 per hit. It's getting hard to keep up when I have to manually cast haste if someone goes down, and White Wind is saving my ass so hard. I mean really, what is with the scaling here if the barriers struggle to hit more than 200 on a good turn when his direct attacks hit for 3,000? I get irritated enough that I manually reset, please leave your cheater comments down below, and rearrange my abilities along with going to buy some things like eye drops so Lena can land her damn attacks. I have level 5 summon so Bahamut can shred the barriers faster, although obviously that wasn't exactly the problem phase. But in phase 2, Lena starts right off doing almost 9,000. Here's something weird though, I set up Golem at the start of the fight with the other buffs, but then Necro hits me with a physical attack. The sound and animation are that of the Twin Lance, but that should still be a physical, right? I don't know if that's a bug or what, but it threw me off, especially since on his next action an attack gets blocked for real. That was the only sticking point. With Golem, eye drops, and Aroga, Necro did not stand a chance. After literal hours of game time, it's finally down to the library, which goes exactly as you think it would. The Elder Branch means the Forest of Moor is up next. Our time with Galoof is coming to a close, which is a damn shame because it's been nice having it for all the World 3 shenanigans. I feel like I'm gonna miss at least one chest in this place. Probably don't need whatever it's in the chest. You never know. The forest doesn't give you the option between the fire and Aegis Shield chest. It changes immediately into the burned forest, which gets me Bio. That might seem lame compared to everything I've gotten up to this point, but as I've been harping on, Bio is actually my best black spell right now. I was also trying to figure out what 2 blue spells I'm missing. Apparently it's Death Claw and Mighty Guard. 2 of the most iconic spells in the game, surely at the end of some long progressive spell chains. Also, before taking on the boss, since I have the appropriate abilities, I go beat up some Guild Turtles for easy money. Or maybe it was just because I could. I don't remember the exact reason, doesn't matter. Guard, Cover Knight, Sing, Requiem, even equip Harp's Apollo Harp for the hell of it. The only thing I didn't account for was Turtle inflicting the million debuffs. The Genji equips prevent a lot, but not poison somehow. Not that it matters, poison sucks ass. Did you know poison, like the spell, isn't multi-targetable? And yet sleep is. Chimera Brain was hiding in the tree and dies. Galoof dies by proxy. Very sad. Single horn blast. On the plus side, we can see Krill's job colors now. Generally good, ranging from Hunter's looks like an official color to Summoner and Dancer's proof that racism is genetic. Fork Towers now, fighting 2 bosses not normally intended to be fought with 2 characters, with 2 characters. My rolls were pretty lucky. The Trench Trio on one side, I got the magic lamp not too long ago. Other side has a panda. Not a hard fight normally, just spam fire, but I get owned here with a physically oriented duo against a boss using Protect and Drain. Not a big surprise, I die, but now that I know what I'm up against, I can prepare easily. A side note here, Career Day actually renamed it to Mix. RPGE called it Combine, which isn't bad, but I appreciate a change like that. The 3 character name makes it stand out a lot better. Makes me wonder why they didn't change any of the other abilities. Like, maybe there's not enough text space for Rapid Fire, but I don't know, Dragon Sword into Lance, you know. So second go around, a panda suffers the wrath of Dragon Power Fyra Spellblade. Protect does make the fight take marginally longer, but Chemist gives me 1000 HP high potions. Any counters are a small tax to me. Also, I tried dual wield Twin Lance Jump. That shit sucks ass. Afterwards, I just get Mix outright. Okay. And the Sandworm bait. I haven't fought the Sandworm replacement? Okay, well I guess... Apparently by taking the long way around the desert you can find the pyramid. You can't do anything with it, but it's cool that it's here since you can see it on the overworld. Fork Tower gave me the final tablet, and with all 4 in hand I can grab the remaining useless items from Kuza Castle and enter the final dungeon. Call her a knight the way she got that double grip. Please don't say that. Just kidding, I'm getting Mighty Guard. Or I would, except the Stingray refused to show up. I can accept that I got very unlucky with his spawn, but I was here for a while, unlike all of the tiles that he's supposed to be, and there was just no Ray to be found. Career Day already made a bunch of random gameplay changes. I wouldn't necessarily put it past them to nerf the acquisition of Mighty Guard in some way. I said this when Go-Go showed up, but this mod is most likely mainly played by people who know what's up with 5. I think changing the ease of access would make some sense, especially since some options guarantee starting with certain jobs, and starting with all 3 worlds unlocked, so maybe they wanted to avoid the scenario of start with Beastmaster, grind for control in the first 5 minutes, get Mighty Guard in the next 5. But again, this is all predicated on that actually being true, and not me having unusually poor luck. Either way, it's not a big deal. I think I'll manage with an overpowered team without the second best spell in the game. Speaking of control, I gotta grind for a bit. I think the low 40 should be good enough for X-Death with all the crazy shit I have now. White woman spotted. Just kidding, it's a mole. A mole that does 2,000 fucking damage, goddamn. I guess that's what happens when nothing bosses get scaled linearly upwards. The Fire Weak Apanda is replaced by the Thunder Weak Leviathan, and I just want to give a reminder that I still am lacking all the Aga stuff. Thundara Spellblade works just as well. The team in general is set for success. Rapid Fire Knight, Mystic Knight with Mix, Chemist with Blue, and Ferris. I think she has Summon, maybe a second mix. She's dead right now, so it's hard to tell. In Azalmage's place, we has... Oh hey, I was right earlier. Well, see ya. Gilgamesh pushes me across the room, and after a few turns of beating on each other, Enkidu shows up to heal a very specific amount of health. I finally get Darkspark to work. I've been passively trying it on a few bosses, but it's another thing that feels nerfed, even though I'm sure my luck is just poor. And level 5 Death works like vanilla. 2 examples still isn't definite proof, but it's pretty convincing. I incidentally get Deathclaw on my way up, leaving 1 single blue spell to get, and there aren't too many chests left in the game. Our final trio of bosses, which I will briefly skim over, are Abductor, Ironclaw, and Purabolos. X-Death really saved his worst for last. That's impressive. Rapid Fire popped out of a chest here, which realistically isn't that useful at this point. I don't need it for more than 1 person, but I don't know, it's a bit of a morale boost in a way. As one last nicety, beating the Necro replacement gives access to 1 last Warp Shard spot, so you don't have to waddle your ass all the way through the rift if there's anything you left unfinished. Apparently I have all but 1 of the summons. Would have rather had Faraga. This inventory is a nightmare, just straight up nonsense from top to bottom, and probably worth hundreds of thousands of gil. One option that I didn't really understand on the career day page was the portal boss, and now I do understand. Basically, it spawns 1 of 4 custom bosses to optionally fight before Neo X-Death. I got Somber Mage, and to cut a long story short, I lost to this thing, and it was a very long loss. I am averse to custom bosses in hacks because a fan's sense of balance is never going to be the same as the original developers. Like, I played the original incarnation of Paper Mario Master Quest, that shit was horrible. But gotta admit, from what I did play, this wasn't too bad. She wasn't slamming me with party-wiping attacks from the outset. She has vulnerabilities to status like Silence, which is actually helpful. She has multiple phases, which change her moveset when taking enough damage. I thought it was neat. For all I know, though, I got the easiest one. Maybe the other 3 represent my greatest fears in earnest, and if that is the case, I'm glad I don't have to care. But this is the Neo X-Death show now, and aside from not having perma-haste, this is a pretty vanilla fight. All the buffing and mixing is done in the tree phase, but I lag too much in finishing him off, so I get meteored twice and start Neo on the back foot. I get a couple good hits off, but I continually get slammed by spells and Almagest and Grand Cross, and it takes forever to pick myself back up. Throwing Fuma Shurikens whenever I can hits the damage cap, finally downing the Almagest part, and that always creates a domino effect with the others following suit. I do still have to be a little wary. It's always a bad idea to count Grand Cross out. It can still fuck me up if my luck keeps trending downwards. I'm getting a lot of use out of Phoenix, which is super rare for me. Full revive on the blue user to white wind everyone back up to full. Great combo. Seeing Bahamut do over 6,000 to everything is a great sight. All my dragon powers go away if someone dies, but as stated, that's not gonna happen nearly as often now. Plus my Dragon Fang stockpile is more than enough. I've got a whole Shinryu worth of fangs. I think I was using Poison Spellblade because supposedly every segment is vulnerable to it. At the very least, the bottom left part is, but I never noticed a 1/16 HP damage tick the whole fight. Granted, I was extremely tunnel visioned, so maybe it happened, but hell if I'm about to watch the left side of the screen on a rewatch for the answer. Ninja really is being the MVP right now, after mostly slacking since I got it. Stockpiling all the Fuma Shuriken specifically for this fight was ideal, as is true to vanilla. Lena dies again to Holy. I think she's just cursed in this run. It feels so fucked up that the Mystic Knight is my weak link, but I finally land a Dark Spark on the top right, and one last pinwheel nukes Grand Cross off the map. This fight is over. Level 5 death, Magic Lamp Odin. Neo X-Death is down, everyone at full health. You really wouldn't have expected it considering how the first half went. But that's not all. Omega and Shinryu, while not having their positions randomized, have their attributes and movesets randomized instead. There's NPCs around the world that give you hints about their weaknesses and abilities, but to be frank, I just checked the spoiler log for both of them. First off... Come on, Lena. What? There's no fucking way he has that in the base game. There's no way that Omega has Zantetsuken in the base game. You can't convince me of that. There's no way. Also, if I'm gonna heal with high potions, I should use Mix to use. Oh, yeah. It's just that easy. Thank you to Gong Grib. I have no idea how to say your name. Gong Grib JM 9008 for apparently the best idea in Final Fantasy history. It was just that easy. Thank you, Career Day, for giving him level 5 death. Go fuck yourself otherwise. I'm skipping past a lot of trial and error here, but I abstained from writing commentary for dying to an overpowered super boss over the course of 45 minutes. With that... Did not mean to do that. Hey, there's Mega Flare. Probably gonna do max damage to him, yep, unsurprisingly. Alright, he's Yep, just keep doing that. Are both super bosses just gonna kill themselves? I think that is a good, that's a safe assumption, yes. They're just going to reflect themselves to death. Not that. Yeah, just keep doing that. I've got a bunch of Revivifies, it's fine. Oh, he's blinding me. You got a lot of HP. Where the heck did I put the pinwheels? There they are. Yeah, that was easy. Actual non-memeing first try. And that's my career day experience, which I can say with certainty, it was fun. Like my intro said, my opinion on randomizers has not changed at all. And this was elevated by being a streamed experience with everyone getting to react to the wacky career day shenanigans. Either way, it was a good time, and this video is fucking long. I gotta go keep not making the Achievements Part 2 video.